we'll see what Ben Johnson's going to be. I like Ben. I don't like that he demands he wants the most money. He came out last year, he wants 15 or more. If he was going to take any of the jobs, nobody wanted to give it to him. So he decided to go back as an offensive coordinator. I do believe he wanted the Bears job. Why? Caleb Williams is a young quarterback. I think he can do a lot with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams had a great year. Jaden Daniels and him were neck and neck when you look at their numbers. They were very close to one another. Jaden Daniels obviously made it to the playoffs. He also plays in an easier division. The Bears are playing with Minnesota. We're going to have, obviously, our friend Pete Bursick on in just a few moments. So you saw what Sam did it and O'Connell and the numbers they put up. You have the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love and so on, and the Lions, obviously. So Ben Johnson going to the Bears, he gets to play his team twice in a year, so that'll be interesting. He knows Dan Campbell, so this will be a battle of the two minds. I like this move for the Chicago Bears. I like Chicago. I think they have a good young defense. They have a good offensive line. They have a quarterback. They have offensive weapons, all over the court, all over the field now. And now you have a guy that can gimmick all these different guys, move them in different slants, and play with 4-1, wide receivers. He could play with 3 running backs. We've seen him do it all with the Lions. So I think it's a perfect fit. Does he deserve $13 million? I do not believe he deserves $13 million, but that's what he was going to get because he's demanding it. And hopefully his numbers will show it over there in Chicago. Because if it doesn't, he is going to be there for maybe 2 years or 3 years, because you know what ownership likes to do. They like to toss away coaches and feed them to the dogs.
Yep, and I think maybe they had to pay that extra in order to insure him, because the Bears have had that kind of reputation of doing that with coaches. But they needed somebody that could work with a quarterback after all these coaches in the past have not been able to work with quarterbacks. And you mentioned it, like schematically speaking, he could play so many different types of offense. It's not like, okay, this guy's a direct disciple of Sean McVay, so he's going to run a 3-receiver type offense like you saw in Cincinnati or some of the other teams that they made it work. This is a guy that can run many different types of offenses, and the Bears need that kind of thing to get their depth going, because they have stars, but they needed the depth that work. Keenan Allen, Roma Dunes, they weren't great last year. Like you said, their offensive line was a mess. They need other creative concepts into the game to make that kind of thing work. You're right. Their defense still has talent. Might be a fall off a little with a different coach, but it's a team that should not have won 5 games last year. They should have at least won 8 or 9 games. And I think Ben Johnson, he's waiting for that kind of opportunity. So I think obviously him getting what we said is the best head coaching job available with the young talent, with the talent that they do have, it's a great fit, I think, for them. And if they still can't do it with the trend of the modern NFL, yeah, the Bears might have an offense quarterback problem with everything.
Well, yeah, and I think too is like making that amount of money. What do you think as a coach? Has he proven to get that amount of money? That's the kind of thing that I was wondering. And when he already said he wanted 15, and I'm like, well, what have you? I mean, obviously he's an OC, but now you are the leader of the entire organization, and what have you done to derive or to deserve that money with what you have in the talent, and how have you shown that you can do that? Because you really haven't done it all the way around. And then I guess that's a chance you take on a guy like that has shown what he can do on the offensive side. But are you going to put the right people around you with the personnel that you have to make you worth that $13 million?
Oh, it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how he's going to build this team. They have a lot of draft stock, so it'll be interesting how he is going to be in that room and saying, I want that guy. I want that guy. He's going to fit my offense, because Roma Dunze he was not being used right now this year. Roma Dunze is one of the more talented wide receivers we've seen come out of the draft. He wasn't used. And I'll say this. A lot of these wide receivers that we've seen in the last couple of years have not been used right. I'm interested to see how Ben Johnson uses them, because he definitely didn't use Williams in that divisional game. And Williams only had 1 catch for 19 yards. Not enough to go on and move on. Maybe he doesn't get the Bears job. If the Bears waited, he goes to the NFC title game. Maybe the Bears don't wait. Maybe they sign Mike McCarthy. Maybe Ben Johnson goes back another year. We all know Aaron Glenn looks like he's going to take the job. One of those guys we're going to go no matter what. Now both of them are gone. Now I'm interested to see how Detroit works it in the offseason.